are happening, and you're already doing something, reflecting on the work that you do in the school that you have, being a curriculum theorist yourself, and having to ensure that there's inclusivity and there's a culturally centered, responsive school setting in what you are doing at the moment. I want you to tell us what is it that alternative school setting should really know? What does it really look like? And also, what impact have you seen that these approaches have had on children in Africa?
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, that's a loaded question, but I really like following after what Mr. J, I think, has said about having a mindset and a skill set and a tool set. That's amazing. When we speak about alternative, and let me just quickly correct that, I don't have a school. I work with an NGO that supports public schools and private schools across the world in Asia and Africa. And what we try to do with our local NGO partners, because that's how we work in partnerships with NGOs. What we try to do is to design whole school programming, whole school transformation programming. And so by that, what we do is that we take recognition and cognizance of the whole child. And by that, we are holding on to everything that the child comes into the school. Their identity, their culture, their language, traumas, well-being, their family, and the community together into the school, into the classroom itself. So in terms of alternative, what we've been pretty much doing is around that. Because the theme says a path, right? One of my favorite theorists is John Dewey, and he will say things like, if you teach children, if you teach today's children the way you taught them yesterday, you rob them off tomorrow. And he goes on to say that we should give students something to do. And if that doing demands thinking, learning will naturally occur. And so what we try to do is to underscore everything that is happening within the child's community. We recognize cultural competencies, hence mother tongue integration is solid and packed and existent in our curriculum. All the teachers in the schools that we support are free to use their mother tongue to integrate learning. So at every point, in places where we offer teacher guides, inside those teacher guides, which you can call structured pedagogy, there are lines that help teachers to say, feel free to use your mother tongue. So it's okay to speak about policies, but they need to be translated into how we support teachers to do this work. So when the cultural competences of children, our stories have a character in them. And it's really about what the children eat every day as their own breakfast. And our stories have a camp in them. Things like that. So that's what we try to do. So what are the areas that we find alternative options? There's curriculum, there's assessment, there's instruction, there's relationship, there is community. So these 5 areas are places that we're constantly working in. And one thing that we try to do is to bring intergenerationality. Bring in generations into the conversations that the children have. So when we are thinking about what children are learning, we're also thinking about what role the community plays. So very many opportunities for the ballet to come into the school, to speak to the children about the culture, uncles and aunties, to speak to the children about the culture. That is ever present in the kind of design that we have. Okay. And so the second question was around outcomes.
Yes.
What are we seeing? Somebody said, I don't know if it was Saka or someone who said it. Saka is so famous. Where is he? Very famous. Someone said it here about retention. It's a big problem for us in Nigeria that we have out of school children. There are many reasons why the children are out of school. They don't understand what we're doing in school. It doesn't really mean anything to them. It's not connected connected to them. That also is there. There's data that shows us that. There's also data that shows us access, general access when school is back home. And then there are other opportunities for African children, not just in Nigeria, other opportunities for African children to find alternative streams of income rather than go to school. So I've just returned from Liberia, and we have more girls in the classroom in our upper primary than boys. Why? This is the season of harvesting, planting. So even our African...
Boys rather go to...
Yes, and what I'm going to say is, our African school calendar is not designed for us. It is designed for summertime. So that when we speak about rerouting, these are the kind of things we're talking about. If the planting season is supposed to be a time that we should be off school, that's what our calendar should look like. Hence, we will not have children who are out of school. We will not have children who are looking for how to support their families in the villages and in where they are. And by the way, who says that everybody wants to live in a high place, in Lagos or in tall buildings? What does well-being mean? Well-being is a feeling of self-satisfaction, that you are not experiencing any sense of traumas that hinder your growth and development. So they are saying structures that need to change, and those are the structures that we've implemented. And the outcomes we're seeing is that retention is better. So we have more children coming to school because they can relate to the learning, right? That's one area. We also are seeing progress academically. There's another thing we're going to think what we're doing is looking at education from a holistic perspective. Hence, bringing their cultural competencies enables them to understand learning. Understand what they're learning in the classroom. The language of innovation is still in foreign languages. You will go to Japan, like many have reference, China, many have reference, they're learning in their languages. And that is why you will hear products like Toshiba. Because they are learning it. If somebody will say, what is kinetic energy in local language? But that's less the point. It's not even about the language. So answer the first question of, is this about language? No. It's about deep learning and innovation. And that's what we need to start looking at. So for us outcomes, we're seeing progress in our students academically. We just recently saw a set of our results, and we can't believe what we're seeing from children who were in primary 5 and 6 at the beginner level of learning their sounds. We no more have children in primary 5 and 6 that are at that level.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that brings me to Mr. Teso.